Hi, it's Joanne, today we're watching The Umbrella Academy in Season 4, Episode 1 of The Unbearable Tragedy of Getting What You Want. At this point, I would question if anybody actually got what they wanted. Like, technically, yes, they're all alive and together and they're normal, but like, they don't have their powers and the stress that comes with it. Alison has her daughter and her 1960s husband, but Reginald Hargreave is like king of the world. I mean, okay, like, corporate king of the world. He has his alien wife. I have literally got no idea where the season's going to go, and I'm so excited. I watched the recap Netflix gave, and then I was like, okay, I remember the big pieces, but I just need to make sure I know the small pieces. So I've gone on YouTube and watched the cast do a recap that was ridiculous, and then some other recaps as well, and I feel like I'm quite up to speed on everything. With CFS, I have the brain fog that comes with it. Sometimes I forget certain details and things, but I'm feeling fairly up to the speed with things. Maybe there'll be things I don't remember, but this show has been one hell of a ride, and I am kind of scared to see where it's going to go for this final season. A reminder that, as always, you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. So when you're watching this one on YouTube, episodes 1, 2, and 3 are up unedited on YouTube on Patreon, and episodes 1 and 2 are up edited on Patreon. Well, let's go. 6 years later. Okay, I was not expecting a 6-year time jump, though with the ability to time travel, that doesn't necessarily mean we'll stay here. Although no one has abilities anymore.
You just got euchred, Pee-wee. The hell with this, Merle.
I'm so confused with what's happening. Ooh. Are these like artifacts from a different timeline? I'm gonna shoot him.
Hey.
Yep. So artifacts have crossed over. If it's been 6 years, that means they've got a kid. Because Lila was pregnant.
Call me when you grow up.
Amy.
Victor, what are you like?
Victor. How's it going?
Is he an astronaut?
What's wrong?
No, I was just calling to see if you're going to that.
Or is he a dancer?
What thing?
Is he like a stripper? Is he like, I have a normal body and I'm gonna make sure everyone knows it? Oh, in a really crappy place, like there's no one here. Yeah, he's not very good, bless him. Her parents are alive in this timeline? Is that who this is?
Killed annually in this country. Watch the puddle. 6,977. That's correct.
He's not immortal anymore. If he dies, he's dead.
Timeline, man. It's screwed up.
Interesting.
I can't say anything, because I know a cleanse is coming.
Oh dear. Interesting.
I'm glad to have found all of you.
Now, is he genuine or is he just trying to get information on this group or something? Yep.
We're late. I know. He's waiting in his office.
He loves organizations and being all secret agenty.
They believe we're all somehow stuck in the wrong timeline.
Crazy, right?
A certain maturity that most of my young agents lack. Please.
Come on, let's go.
None of them are doing particularly well, are they, in their lives? Some more than others, but...
You have been sober for 3 years? Give yourself a little credit, all right?
Well done, Klaus.
Your faith.
Come on, you have to at least take the cake. One leaves before cake, baby.
They're a family. They're not the family you lost, and they won't ever replace them, but they're still family.
Gotcha. It's been
Who's
years
in
since we've
fur?
been
Nobody wants me in there.
Not true. Not true.
It is. And even if it wasn't, I have lines to learn. Go.
Is it because they're not happy with the timeline and she made the decision, so they're blaming her?
He's about to hyperventilate. Hey, did I forget to pack my
Coming here is a huge step for him.
Uncle Klaus. I don't. It would be so awkward.
We're over it. Let's go.
No, Lyle.
Are they over it?
Trust me. You don't understand. Fine. I'm too stoned for this. This was a mistake.
Stone might be the best way to approach this.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great.
Mhm.
It's,
Hey, we survived. Was it awkward? Yes. But we made it through.
And then there's Lila.
Lying about something.
You know,
Some people would kill to have what you have. You know?
Luther would love it. We're all gonna be here. If he makes it inside. I'm scared that we're seeing him outside, that he's not gonna make it.
I really need you to get in that van.
Without powers, they are far more vulnerable than they used to be. Like, if they were able to hand-to-hand fight, they'd have a chance, but
Where's the cake?
none of them even knew Victor was gonna be here.
Eastside piñatas are notorious for their difficulty.
I'll get you, son of a bitch.
And the party is ruined.
I'd love to know what you think.
Book club.
About to begin.
Oh no, I see the jeans.
The umbrella effect. And correct timeline.
I mean, what I'm concerned about is what they mean by correct timeline, because, like, looking at our world I'm in right now, I'm like, a lot of things are going to hell. If this is the wrong timeline, I'd like to go back to the right timeline, but it would depend on whose definition that was.
What do we... Clans.
But what is the cleanse?
Is there a problem back there?
Other people are talking.
Sorry.
Others believe.
Lila should have just said, well, I just met him here today. I was introducing him to the concept. He's a newbie. Because she's established and he's not.
That's right, darling.
I'm
If
very,
you're
very
interested, why
threatened.
don't you give us your information? We'll make sure to send you an invitation. Both of you.
I just met him today, but gee whiz, thank you.
It's possible the old man's reset didn't take.
What does
Mhm.
that even mean? Easier that way.
Alright. Well, it's a good thing I never got married. Too much deception involved.
Not easier for him because he knows you're lying. Yes, is he gonna think they're having an affair? They're obviously scheming. Although does he not know it's 5 from that angle?
But come on, I put a lot of work into this place.
You
I'm
did?
sure I'm saying it.
How bad was it when you came here?
Come on. Oh,
Given that he's actively mourning his family,
On the second floor.
living in the shell of the place he used to live with them, it may not be the best idea.
We can handle this.
yeah.
We're not exactly a team anymore, Diego.
No.
Never were.
Fifth Avenue.
Perfect. Let's roll.
Yeah.
We're just going straight in. Fascinated by what's going on.
Hey.
What's up, Vic?
Somebody did still kidnap him.
Well, I was on the way and then I got kidnapped, so...
Yeah, nice excuse.
Do you guys want to untie me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But I need your help. Well, kidnapping our brother and pointing a gun at us isn't gonna buy you much goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
They start going to these strange meetings. They're very strange people. They call themselves the Keepers, and then over time,
We're not special.
Speak for yourself, Tuppy. Give us
We don't
24
need fat
hours.
jokes or
Five,
insults.
what are you doing?
What I'd like to know is how the daughter of some random dry cleaner ends up with a jar of marigold in the trunk of her car.
How do we know that's not just a jar of...
I'll do whatever the group decides, all right? How's that?
Luther.
No.
Ben.
I mean, my life is great.
All right, then. Motion fails. We don't drink the mystery juice, so we don't get our powers back.
Thank God.
Imagine if they drink it and they get different powers in this timeline.
All right, I gotta hit the road, actually.
No, so soon.
Oh, come on, Vic. Stay a bit longer.
No, wait. Stay, man.
It's just such a long drive.
I should go too. I've got an audition tomorrow.
Like
Oh.
a big, important audition, and we have to boot camp the lines.
Notice the difference when Victor said he wanted to go. No, Victor, stay. Vic, please, Vic. Oh, Vic. And Alison says she's got to go. Crickets. They are not over what happened.
No, okay.
Oh, dear.
Last shot on me.
He put the marigold in the shots.
Please.
That is so wrong, because it's taking away their consent. None of them are consenting to this, Ben. I don't appreciate this. Okay? It's wrong.
Come on, he doesn't drink.
Sake doesn't count.
Exactly. It doesn't? Hey,
Doesn't it?
dude's sober.
Thank you.
Is it not alcoholic? Because otherwise,
Okay
Klaus.
then. Here's to the
I triply don't like Ben if
non-existent
it is
umbrella.
alcoholic. My brain can't even
Goodbye.
think.
Goodbye.
Fuck you, Ben. I mean, obviously they need their powers back for the show, but... Or did he not put it in the... I know he did. It's... Like, did he just take it himself, or did he give it to them? Like, given the whole him bringing them the shots, I feel like he definitely did give it to them, which I don't appreciate because they didn't consent to it. They decided they didn't want to do it, and then he chose for them, which is shitty. But then if he... Like, the thing was emptier than it had been before, so he did do it. Otherwise, he would have just downed it in the bathroom and then come back with powers. Okay, so I was not expecting the 6-year time jump, but I liked seeing them all just having like normal lives, or at least lives like normal people, even if they still found ways to make those lives a little bit unusual. Reginald is just living with his alien wife, living with his empire of the elite. I don't know. I guess we'll find out more about him. It made me sad to see that they were basically all miserable because, you know, you have Victor who owns a bar, but according to the people in the bar, they were all like, oh, he's been through every lady in town, oh, which suggests that, like, he's unlucky in love and just kind of his social life isn't too great. Then you've got Luther, who is living in the ruins of their childhood home, working as a stripper in a place that gets like 5 customers, like no one cares, which isn't exactly the most ideal life. And he was not able to find Sloane when he ran off looking for her, which, if they exist, yeah, would Sloane exist, or would it be possible to find her? I don't know, but it is sad to think that he had her so briefly. Then you have Diego, who is working a job that makes him miserable, and it makes me sad that, like, their lives are miserable. Like, I do think for people like Diego and Lila, going from like saving the world superhero stuff to 9-to-5 jobs and raising kids would be a huge shift, and I don't know how ready they'd be for it, but it makes me sad that they are like so miserable in it. I can understand why he suspects Lila of cheating on him, partly from what he saw and partly from her terrible lying about where she's been and how they're both kind of unhappy in the relationship, or at least he is unhappy in his situation at the moment. But they've probably got the best life out of everybody, and yet they're so miserable in it. Then you have Allison, who also... Now, we didn't see Ray, so does that mean, like, that didn't work out? I mean, he was from the 60s. I don't know. But things... Obviously, raising a kid isn't easy, and raising a kid while trying to become a successful actress and being frustrated that once all these doors were just open for you, which was because of her family name, which, like, it wasn't because she wasn't talented. Like, she can be talented and have the family name, but she was a famous actress because she was already famous, being one of the Umbrella Academy. It is so much easier to have doors open to you as an aspiring actor if you are already famous. And she's struggling, and understandably her daughter would probably be, if she's kind of putting a lot of effort into that, might feel left out. We don't know what's happening with the father. Then you have Klaus, who in some way, like, I'm immensely proud of him for being sober for 3 years. Like, out of this world proud of him for that. And it was actually really interesting because on paper you'd say, like, he's the worst off of all of them because he is so scared all the time. He's germophobic, he doesn't want to go outside, he doesn't want to do anything because he's so frightened of dying now because it will be permanent. But him being the one that was most adamantly opposed to getting his powers back because he's free, even though he's frightened, was really surprising, but also really well done. Because when you think about it, his powers made him the most miserable all of the time. Most of the, like, Victor had his share of moments where his powers weren't great or made him miserable, but it wasn't all the time. He was able to learn to control them and then be in control of them. Whereas for Klaus, it was just constant being attacked by this, and it caused him so many problems. I think the best case scenario for him would probably be to learn a way to, like, turn his powers off and only activate them when he wanted, but we will see. Then you have Ben, who is not our Ben, and we know the least about him, but he's also dealing with the fact that all of his family are dead, and he was a kind of shitty person to begin with, so we'll see where he goes. I'm now like, okay, I talked about Victor, Allison, Luther, Klaus, Diego, Ben, and then okay, Five, who is a not FBI agent, a CIA agent investigating the Keepers. And the idea of the Keepers, the Gene and Gene is typical like Umbrella Academy craziness. People who are aware that the timeline has shifted. Now the frightening thing is, what does the cleanse mean? Is it another apocalypse? Do they think that if they destroy the world, the right timeline will come back? Like in our world, if there were people walking around saying we're in the wrong timeline, like I mean, like I've seen like jokes before, like we're in the bad timeline because like the world is falling, going to hell. You wouldn't believe people if they said we're in the wrong timeline. Like this is just life. Like life sucks, the world sucks. But in this world, when we know they're telling the truth, it's particularly interesting, and it's very lucky that none of their pictures were of Five, because even with his moustache and his hat, you would be able to tell it was the same person. And how easily they shot the guy and like murdered him when he wanted to charge them 10,000 for the artifacts is particularly, it shows you just how ruthless they can be. So I'm very intrigued with where it's all going to go. A very good first episode back. Thank you. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.